what you said. I'll make you have some regrets, and no, I never forget. So now you have a few debts. That shit, it needs to be paid with blood or some sort of pain. You caused a permanent stain, which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear.
You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me coming. You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me.
My energy is next level, so damn, you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he snaps me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel. I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks, I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you anywhere or any place.
You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me coming. You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me coming.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
So clear, I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear.
You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me coming. You won't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me.
My energy is next level, so damn, you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he snaps me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel. I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. How are y'all? What's everybody doing? What's everybody doing? Oh, I have a full tank of gas and at least 2 weeks of food. Oh no, what's going on? What is going on? There is definitely something I want to talk about very first. Let me say hello to everybody first, actually. And also, you guys, I went to the dentist today, so I got 4 teeth pulled. So I talk a little bit different, you know what I mean? Like my mouth sits a little bit differently because my teeth got pulled. So if I sound a little bit different, then I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Anyways, Gingerlocks, if you're still here, hello. Scientology is yeah, we're gonna go over some Scientology stuff. Absolutely. Sab, how are you? Running Bear and Helen, hello. How are you? Hope, hello, sweetheart. Hello, sweetheart. Right on time for you. Hey, girl. Hey, Cool Gamer. Good to see you. Welcome in. Come on in, everybody. Come and say hello. Hope, sweetheart, we are going to actually watch a little bit about that. Give me 2 seconds here and let me bring this up. Okay, so this is in BC, Canada, you guys, for those who are not from Canada. And they are burning down. They are burning down, you guys. I am not even joking. I'm not even joking. Yes, please hit the thumbs up when you come on in, you guys. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Hey, Pris, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. Petty Crocker, hello, sweetheart. How are you? How are you? Good to see everybody. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me, guys. Okay, so first, actually, I wanted to show this because it's kind of crazy. It is kind of, yeah, a little bit crazy. So I will be here down in the corner. Let me take this off, I guess. I love my little border. Okay. So this is in the Okanagan Valley, which is my home. This is my birthplace. This is where I'm from. And yes, this is from Kelowna, Hope. This is from Kelowna, and this is unbelievable. If let's have a look at this video here. This is unbelievable, you guys. Have a look.
It exploded in size over the span of 24 hours. It's actually now over 100 times larger than it was. And here's a look at how things quickly spiraled out of control. The spectacular beauty of Kelowna captured for a brief moment before the weather took a turn.
The winds just picked up probably the last 20 minutes. It's very concerning.
As the afternoon progressed, the fire advanced steadily closer.
It's really all about the ongoing strong winds, and the lack of moisture is really what's helping drive these fires.
We knew today was going to be challenging.
Oh my God.
All of the predictions we expected came true.
Look how fast
As
it
night
goes,
fell,
you know?
the landscape became more hellish. Trees candling, home after home up in flames.
Oh, this is so heartbreaking.
As people on the safe side at the Okanagan Lake in Kelowna watched in horror, not knowing what would come next.
Across the lake, an amber, and it's 150 feet from me.
Around 9:30 p.m., embers made the 2.5-kilometer jump, sparking spot fires just north of Kelowna.
It was kind of at a distance across the lake, but now it's right there.
Today, as daylight reveals some of the devastation, fire crews remain
Very
locked
terrifying.
in the fight.
The firefight going on right now is as significant today as it was last night.
Knowing the danger to this valley of paradise is far
Look
from
how close
over.
those homes are down there.
This now is West Kelowna Fire Chief
Oh my
Jason
God.
Rowland. Jason, thanks for joining us. You surveyed the damage from the air
Wow,
recently. What did you
That
see?
is crazy. From 4,500 buildings yesterday to 15,000 today. Unbelievable.
It was
And of course, it's like, you know, every single fucking time there's a goddamn wildfire somewhere, the winds have to come up. You know, like, it's unbelievable. But it's like, it's just a cycle of the environment kind of thing, right? Like, it's the heat from the fires create the air around it to be a little bit, you know what I mean? It's just, oh, it's just so sad. It really is. Hey, Zena, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Where are you? I hope you're safe. I hope you're safe.
awe-inspiring to see a fire behave the way that it did, and then to see it from above. But to see the loss was gut-wrenching. Our hearts go out to the people who are affected. And we are doing our best to try and let people know. But unfortunately, we're still fighting this fire, and our resources are dedicated there.
You mentioned that some firefighters were trapped last night, helping people who didn't want to get out. Talk to us about what happened.
Yeah, we had issued an evacuation alert early in the day, which is us warning people that they may.
Look at that. And see all these little spots here? Each one of those is a home. Each one of these is somebody's home burning up. Oh, gosh. It's just so, so sad. Hey, Plumpy. Did you figure out what happened with your live? It's Zena. Yes, we're all good. Friends and family involved evacuated down on the coast. Nothing but prayers and rain. Yes, I pray for rain too. My goodness. I have so much family in the Okanagan. It's unbelievable.
They may need to leave, and they may need to leave on short notice. And when that evacuation alert turned to an evacuation order, we
Look at that right there in the middle of the screen. Oh my goodness, that's somebody's house. That's someone's home just burning. Oh goodness. Oh, Blumpy. Oh, you'll figure it out. I know you'll figure it out.
we expected that they would leave, but in some cases, people didn't. In most cases, it was an orderly evacuation, but In some cases, some people didn't until it was too late and they
Oh
found
my
themselves
goodness,
trapped
home just going like
after
that.
fire had burned across the roadway.
Yeah, then jumped a lake. Yes, yes. 2.5 kilometers, I think it said. Jumped the lake 2.5 kilometers. And then Shuswap also jumped. Wow. That's crazy. All right, Jen, no worries. Another night, sweetheart. Fire drill's going down. They have to call the firefighters back from the Shuswap fire. Oh my goodness, that's so sad. So scary. Fire is just so destructive. It takes every single fucking thing from you. It leaves nothing left. It's unbelievable.
And it required the efforts of the BC Wildfire Service and the RCMP to pull these people to safety, driving through the flames in order to get them out. That's my worst nightmare, to hear that people are trapped behind a wall of flames. And we definitely went to work.
And it must be your biggest worry for tonight as well. You said tonight's going to be scarier. Paint a picture. What are you expecting? How are you preparing?
And this was from just like...
yeah, we are hard at it ever since this morning. We were dug in, fighting fires in neighborhoods, in people's backyards, saving their homes because of a well-placed drop from a helicopter provided by the BC Wildfire Service, or from firefighters being in the right place at the right time and putting out an ember on a roof. Tonight's going to be more of the same, house to house, door to door, firefighting driven by the wind. And the success relies on the hard work of all of the firefighters on the ground.
Chief Jason Brolin, we are with you. We're thinking about you and rooting for you and your team. Thank you.
Okay, let's watch this one again. Let's watch this one too.
Apocalyptic scenes in West Kelowna tonight, where a state of emergency has been declared. Homes
from 15 hours ago.
Ground. People standing on the beach as they watch the McDougall Creek wildfire burn on the other side of the lake. Thousands of people have been ordered to leave their homes, and more evacuations are expected as officials say the wildfire.
Yes, Hope, I remember those fires.
Wind and lightning are also in the forecast, with the potential to spark
Look at
many
that,
new
you
fires
guys.
overnight and fuel existing
It's
ones.
apocalyptic.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a difficult night for West Kelowna and now Kelowna. We are hearing the McDougall Creek fire has jumped the lake from West Kelowna into the city of Kelowna. The fire chief says it will burn into the early hours of the morning. And
oh my goodness, look at that behind her. Sad, yeah, it can be really. It definitely dry there. The Okanagan is quite a hot spot. You could say. They usually have nice weather, nice hot weather, and just I think the last couple weeks, they've had like extremely hot weather. So yeah, it's everything is against them right now, it's so sad.
And will look like it's on top of the community.
There'll be glow and huge flames visible along the top of the hill. We're monitoring it constantly, but I need the public to be aware it's going to be dramatic what you see.
Oh, nighttime is so scary. I mean, daytime is scary as well, but at night is the most scary because then you can actually see the flames, Oh, gosh.
There will be ash falling in your neighborhoods. There, has been for the past 24
hours. Yes, they do. Yes.
Yeah, they do. Firefighters have now been pulled off the fire as it was becoming too dangerous to fight. Tragically, many people witnessed the devastation firsthand, watching their homes burn to the ground. It's not clear how many structures have been lost. The fire has knocked out power to nearly 4,000 people in West Kelowna. More than 2,500 people have been asked to leave their homes. More than 6,000 need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. A wildfire between Lytton and Boston Bar has closed Highway 1. BC Wildfire says winds have pushed the Kapuki Creek wildfire further east.
That's good advice running there.
The Fraser River and Highway 1, closing the highway in both directions. The Thompson-Nicola Regional District has issued an evacuation order for 29 properties. The area in red on this map, that's Falls Creek and Kanaka Bar, about a 15-minute drive.
Jen, I'm not in this area. No, I have lots of family in the Okanagan, and it's where I was born. It's my birthplace, so it's my home always, but I don't live there right now, so I'm not anywhere near this. But my sister is, and I have like nieces and nephews and cousins and aunts and uncles and all kinds of people that live in the Okanagan. So they're all safe though. They're all safe. So
Drive from Lytton, the highway will remain closed until at least 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. The next 2 days could spark the biggest challenge so far for crews who are already swamped and overworked. Today, provincial officials gave a dire update with stronger language than we've heard so far this season.
probably, yeah. Get the fuck out.
Alyssa Tebow reports.
A terrifying sight
Oh my
looming over
gosh, look
Kelowna.
at that.
The McDougall Creek fire doubled in size in just a few hours Wednesday.
Oh,
Now a state of
goodness.
emergency is in place for the city of West
Oh.
Kelowna. It's
All
the
those
latest
songs
development in an
already.
already record-breaking wildfire season that could get worse.
I want to underscore that we are very concerned about the developing wildfire situation here in BC.
A weather system is sweeping across all.
Look at that. Wow, you think like you're up in the helicopter, oh my gosh, that's huge. Huge.
BC, bringing strong winds, lightning, and no rain, exacerbating already dire drought conditions.
This weather event has the potential to be the most challenging 24 to 48 hours of the summer from a fire perspective.
Yeah, I would leave please Helen.
Apocalyptic scenes
Oh,
in West
shit,
Kelowna
sorry.
tonight where
Small lake fire.
In the coming days.
Sorry.
Around 370 fires are currently burning in BC, including 14 fires of note. In the Shuswap area, tourists are being asked to leave, with 2 fires burning nearby. Because of the limited road access, officials have placed sprinklers on a bridge across Scotch Creek to try and protect it.
If ever there was a time to make sure you have an evacuation plan for your house and your family, it's now.
The Rossmore Lake fire south of Kamloops has been burning for nearly 4 weeks. Hundreds of nearby properties are on alert, a small number under evacuation order. Officials say they've been preparing for a change in conditions by securing fire guards and performing planned ignitions. But weather is unpredictable. Alyssa Tebow, CTV News.
that evacuation order south of Kamloops has now expanded to 40 properties due to the Rossmore Lake wildfire. Emergency support is being made available at the reception center in Kamloops on Island Parkway. Another wildfire we've been watching for weeks is the Lower East Adams Lake fire in the Shuswap area. Planned ignition is underway, aimed at protecting homes in the Lee Creek and Scotch Creek area, both of which have been on evacuation alert since Wednesday. Crews say strong winds are pushing the 10,000-hectare wildfire back into itself and away from communities. Now to the Crater Creek wildfire near Karamias, which has now grown
It
to
just goes on and on and on.
hectares. The wildfire cut off access to nearby Cathedral Lakes Lodge on Tuesday, trapping about 80 campers overnight. Now the regional district of Okanagan-Similkameen has ordered the evacuation of 3 motorhome parks along Highway 3, affecting dozens of residents and visitors.
Smoke.
Turning now to the mass exodus from the Northwest Territories as hundreds of fires scorch the land.
Okay, so the Northwest Territories, this is up where I live. The Northwest Territories is the territory just like right beside us. So I mean, I'm far away. It's about a day drive, to get up to the Northwest Territories. But this is unbelievable as well. Just crazy.
Landscape. Yellowknife is in the path of the flames, threatening the city and other communities. Penny down.
And Yellowknife is the capital city of the Northwest Territories, and it's in trouble.
Loss now on the life-saving evacuation operation underway, including bringing hospital patients.
Look at that. Look at, like, it's just apocalyptic. It's red. It's just this red glow from fire.
And frail seniors to BC.
It's crazy.
Hundreds of fires are scouring the Northwest Territories, the flames moving closer to Yellowknife.
Thinking of everyone that's having to stay behind and work really hard to kind of keep the city safe right now.
And forcing some 30,000 people south in search of safety and refuge.
We maybe had just a bin full of, the essentials.
Most of them are now.
I think a lot of these people are coming here. I'm not quite sure, though.
Now in Alberta, as major cities prepare for an influx of displaced residents.
Oh, Alberta
to help
too.
up to
Okay.
5,000 people find shelter and the additional supports.
BC stands ready to help.
Faced with hundreds of wildfires of our own and more fire weather on the way, BC will be supporting some of the most vulnerable evacuees instead.
British Columbia is expected to receive approximately 55 hospital patients and care home residents, with potentially more to come.
It's a
It's so bad
1,600
this year.
kilometer flight from Yellowknife to Vancouver, where those waiting for surgery or recently operated on and sick kids will be assessed at an
We
operations
just had a
center at
bunch come to
YVR.
Edmonton.
Emergency
Yeah.
health services tell CTV News extra paramedics
We have a
and
bunch
ambulances
coming here
are on hand
too,
to get them
because
to hospital, with Lower Mainland doctors already reviewing their charts
a lot
to
up
figure
there
out
have
which
family
hospitals
here.
can best
So.
care for them.
It's an extraordinary trip for someone from a hospital or a care home in the Northwest Territories to come down to Vancouver.
22 of the airlifted evacuees are frail care home residents, most of whom will be taken to the long-term care facility at Mount St. Joseph's Hospital in East Vancouver.
These are numbers that we are able to absorb. These are challenging times, of course, but it goes without saying that in this country we support other jurisdictions just as they support us.
A nationwide
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's quite amazing, actually, how people come together when it's needed. And that's amazing. That's amazing. So, what time was Disney's at? Everything that we watched was from today. So, I mean, I just Googled Kelowna wildfire, and it came up. Go to like Google and then Google wildfires, Kelowna wildfires, and then I went to videos to see a video. So I am also just going to bring up this little overlay here, you guys, that I hope is going to. Okay, it did work good. Okay, so this is a map of Canada, and this shows all of the wildfires burning in Canada right now. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. It's like from one end to the other. It is crazy. This over here, I don't know if you guys can see my pointer or not, but this over here is BC. And then we have Alberta beside it. Saskatchewan, Manitoba, what the fuck, Quebec. And then like Ontario. And then we have like Newfoundland and stuff over here. So you can see that, like, well, Ontario has quite a bit. Northern Ontario definitely has quite a bit. And look at all the fires around BC. I'm up here. This is where I am. Right up here in the corner. So yeah, it's just so scary. So scary. But yeah. Okay, well, you guys, I have a few things that we could talk about tonight. First of all, first one I wanted to talk to you about is a story that I came across. And did I put the link in the comment? Let me check. Maybe not. Okay. Okay. Let me put the link in there just so I don't have to worry about it after. Okay, there's the link if anyone wants to come up. This is a story. You guys might have heard of it and you might have not. This is a story from the UK. And this is kind of absolutely disgusting. So give me 2 seconds and let me bring this story up for you guys. Because it is something else, I tell you that. It'll probably disgust you. Like it did me. And let's see what this one is here. Nope, not that one. Hang on, you guys. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. All right. I can't make this any bigger. I'm sorry about that, but it just won't go any bigger. Okay, so this is from Manchester, UK, and it is a story about a nurse who decided that she was going to murmur some babies. And it's trigger warning, you guys, please. We will go. Okay, let's go here. This is a newer story. You see this one is from 13 hours ago. So it says a mother has said, hang on a second. Hang on 2 seconds. Oh. Okay, it says a mother has said that she fears child murmurer Lucy Letby attacked her newborn baby as an act of revenge the day after she made a complaint about the nurse. Lindsay Artell remonstrated with hospital staff after Letby made an inappropriate comment about her premature son, Asa. Letby has now been convicted, you guys, of murmuring 7 babies and attempting to murmur 6 others at a neonatal unit in the hospital. This is unbelievable. She was a nurse, and she obviously worked in the neonatal unit, and she was injecting these babies with, I'm going to click on this, like insulin, stuff like that. Oh, that just opened up the exact same page I'm on, darn it. Let's try this one. It's got to be the most disgusting thing. Like, I don't understand how somebody could do that. Let me bring up this other screen here for a second, you guys. Okay, so this is from Sky News, UK, and this is an article here, and it says that B colleagues, staff, it says staff thought nurse was working when alarms rang. So let's have a listen to this one here. Oh, I have to click on that. Sorry. It's just a short little video, so just let it load up. It is just, I can't believe that people can do that. Like, it's unbelievable. Okay, is this going to play or no? No, no. Hello. Hang on a second. Let me just get this big screen. Oh, there's no play button, so what is this one? Okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why these videos aren't playing. Huh. Well, that's weird. Okay, well, that is kind of weird. So these are not playing for me. I do not know why. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it's not, like, I'm clicking on it and there's nothing happening. It says it's 52 seconds. Showing now. Yeah, okay. All right, well, we'll try another one. Huh, weird. They are not playing for me. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Sorry about that, guys. I do have some other stuff here, though, about her, so we will try something different here. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. This one seems to be playing. I do have some pretty interesting Scientology stuff after this, you guys. So yeah, stay tuned for that because it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay, so here is a video that lets you kind of know what the story is about. And this is from, and let me see, I think it's from the same, this is from Independent, UK News, I guess, Independent it's called, so. Okay, so let's have a listen to this.
Lucy Letby was entrusted to protect some of the most vulnerable babies. Little did those working alongside her know that there was a murderer in their midst. She did her utmost to conceal her crimes by varying the ways in which she repeatedly harmed babies in her care. She sought to deceive her colleagues and pass off the harm she
Yes, yeah.
as nothing more than a worsening of each baby's existing vulnerability. In her hands innocuous substances like air, milk, or medication like insulin would become lethal. She perverted her learning and weaponized her craft to inflict harm, grief, and death. Time and again, she harmed babies in an environment which should have been safe for them and their families.
Could you imagine that? How you go to the hospital and like it was said, this was a neonatal, so like mostly preemie babies. But preemie babies are just, can be just as healthy as like other babies, but they're just preemie. They have like other little things, like sometimes like their lungs aren't developed all the way, or it's just stuff like that, but they definitely do have a chance. The neonatal units nowadays are incredible. So, yeah, I don't know, it's sad.
Parents were exposed to her morbid curiosity and her fake compassion.
You go to the hospital and you have a baby and then you walk out with nothing.
Baby rooms. Many surviving children live with permanent consequences of her assault upon their lives. Her attacks were a complete betrayal of the trust placed in her. My thoughts are with families of the victims who may never have closure, but who now have answers to questions which had troubled them for years.
Thanks for coming in,
They told
Jen.
me that there would be a lot more deaths and that I've been linked to somebody that's there for a lot of them. They told me that there would be a lot more deaths and that.
Okay, so this girl sitting here, this is the nurse. And this is just a short little blurb, but she's talking to investigators, obviously, here.
I've been linked to somebody that's there for a lot of them.
I know it's a little bit hard to understand. I apologize for that.
Did you have any concerns that there was a rise in the mortality rate? Yes. Okay, so tell me about that. What concerns did you have? I think we don't just notice as a team in general, the nursing staff, that this was a rise compared to previous years.
Wow. I'll just let this play for just a little bit because it's like a little blurb after a little blurb about this. She has been found guilty, like it says up here, and she has been sentenced, I think, to life in prison. So, yeah. Hey, guys. So it says here, murders between 2015 and 2016 during her nursing shift at the Countess of Chester Hospital, which is just horrible, right? I mean, she is, I was muted for a second. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. She's a nurse, right? Yes, hope. Nurses are supposed to be the opposite of this. Unbelievable, eh? There's like that other story too. Wurlitzer, what was that lady's name? She murmured like elderly. I forget what her name was, but I've seen her like interrogation and stuff, and my goodness, it's so crazy how the people think that you can that they can trick you, right? Oh, it's just so sad.
Hello. Hi, I'm picking up. It's been here for a while.
Give me a sec. Okay, I found it.
Sorry, it's just commercials there.
Hello.
Hi,
Oh,
I'm picking up.
okay.
It's
Okay, that's done then. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to bring that story to the forefront here because my goodness, how horrible is that? And I'm always looking for stories from overseas and stuff like that. So I enjoy stuff like that. Okay, so now I have a whole lineup of Scientology stuff. So give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go and edit the title to include Scientology. Let's talk. Okay. Da, 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 da. What happened? Oh. Okay, I don't know if it did change it. Okay, good. Okay, so Scientology, I have combined out of the window, which I for you need to put in email and send you. Okay, absolutely. That would be great. Okay, so let's get into the Scientology stuff. I have some really good stuff that like includes Tom and also my interview with John Travolta. So I think that we will start with this. This was sent to me today, and I seriously love this channel. So make sure you guys go sub up to it. Thank you, Sav, for sending me this today. I totally and completely appreciate it. This is probably a really good one. Okay, so now what we are going to be looking at here is a story by the Church of Scientology. It's called the Church of Scientology Founders Niece Speaks Up. Okay, so this is this Church of Scientology's founder's niece. Okay, so this must be L. Ron Hubbard's niece, I guess. And this video is from 60 Minutes Australia. So please, please, please go give them a like, you guys. I will put the link to this video in the chat for you guys. So you guys can go have a look at it. And there we go. There's the thing. So this is oh, that's too much. Okay, there we go. There we go. So this is from 60 Minutes Australia. Like I said, I love them. They are amazing. No, it's David Miscavige's niece. Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. Because like Ronell, I mean, he died quite a while ago. So I don't know if his niece would be that young. so anyways. Okay, so let's have a look at this here. This probably be pretty interesting, you guys.
Not about the Church of Scientology. It's high profile, bolstered by Hollywood A-listers. But what goes on behind the walls of this religion isn't always glamorous. The church is led by David Miscavige, a man who usually prefers to stay out of the public eye. But now his niece has shone a bright, unwelcome light upon the church and its behaviour. Jenna Miscavige Hill spent more than 20 years in the church with her uncle. She told her story to Liz Hayes.
Oh, to have that name tied to you, eh? To have like the name Miscavige, your last name Miscavige. Oh, Oh my goodness. I would change it right away. I don't know.
There's not an exact criteria for evil, but I would definitely say, you know, somebody who makes rules that thousands and thousands of people can't have children and runs a church where there's child labor, forced and coerced abortions, where people are separated from their family. If that's not evil, then what is, you know?
29-year-old Jenna Miscavige Hill is talking about the Church of Scientology.
Well, thank you very much.
Me too.
Run by her
I love
own
her too.
uncle, David Miscavige.
All of
It's
your
just a game.
all of the reporters that are on for 60 Minutes here are all awesome. I love watching Australian news. I really do.
Game of power and control. It strips away your individuality and your conscience and just makes you do whatever their bidding is. People are either bad or good. They're either for Scientology or against Scientology.
Well, what's the difference between Scientology and a cult?
I can't think of any.
Scientology established its first church here in Los Angeles in 1954. It's always attracted controversy, not the least because its creator, the late L. Ron Hubbard, was a science fiction writer with, let's say, some interesting views. But over the years, the church has been accused of, at best, bizarre behaviour and, at worst, criminal conduct. Now, what Jenna Miscavige Hill, the church leader's niece, has to say, casts yet another very dark shadow over the church. For most of her life, Scientology was all Jenna Miscavige Hill had ever known. From childhood, she lived in the inner sanctum of the church. Her parents and grandparents were Scientologists, and it was where she met her husband, Dallas. Church is first.
Right, before family, before friends, especially before yourself.
And that...
Right? That is a fucking huge building. Like, that's insane. I don't know who the fuck lives there. What? I don't know. Like, do people live there? That is insane, man. Where did they have that? Here. I'll go back to where we were. Look at that. What the hell do they need that for? I don't know if people live there or not, if it's just like a big apartment building or, oh my God, right? Helen, one of many huge buildings they own. Absolutely. Absolutely. They own like way too much. Yeah, crazy. My goodness.
Family, before friends, especially before yourself.
And that became clear, says Jenna, from early childhood. Her parents were part of the clergy, or Sea Org, as they're called. And according to Jenna, spent long periods away from their children.
From when I was 4, I started only seeing them once a week. And then from when I was 12 until I was 18, I saw my mom twice. And my dad 4 times. And the majority of those times were for less than an hour.
Well, of course, from an outsider's perspective, I'd be saying, well, why weren't your parents trying to contact you?
It's hard. Like, it's this whole mind control business. To see that that was a bad situation, they would have to see their whole world crumbling down.
When she was 6, Jenna was sent here to the ranch, a Scientology boarding school just outside of Los Angeles.
It was run like a military type school. Everything we did was very regimented. We did manual labor for 35 hours a week. And it was anything from like digging ditches for irrigation to hauling wheelbarrows full of gravel to make cactus gardens to...
Wow, I read that lots of like child labor is a big thing with them. They make them work when they're little, which is really sad and crazy, right? Instead of going to school, there they are fucking doing work. That's crazy.
Hauling rocks to make rock walls, to weeding for fire breakers, things like that.
And it was here that Jenna says that she signed away her heart and soul. A At just 7 years of age, she signed a contract committing her to 1 billion years with the church. Did you?
At 7 years old. Like, what 7-year-old would understand what is going on or what they're signing or what, you know what I mean? Like, they get them young, right? And then they, like, when they grow up, oh, you signed this contract, too bad for you. Like, it's just fucking disgusting. Hey, K-Mash, how are you? Welcome in. We're continuing with our Scientology yabber.
Know what you were
Good to see you, hon.
I mean, I knew that it was 1 billion years, but it was more, and I knew that that's what my parents did, but it was more that I didn't know that I had any other option, you know?
Well, a 7-year-old signing a billion-year
Yeah.
contract sounds outrageous.
Right, yeah, but it did bind me emotionally and mentally, and you know, I wanted to be loyal and keep that contract. I never thought that I ever wouldn't.
Dallas, did you sign a billion-year contract?
Yeah, when I was 18 and joined the Sea Org, I signed.
And you didn't hesitate?
No, at first I had someone yelling at my face and telling me I was evil for not signing it because I wanted to be an actor and to go off and do normal stuff. So yeah, it took about a few months of constantly interrogating me and pressuring me and telling me that's the greatest thing in the world.
75.
Wow. He just pretty much explained brainwashing right there. Right? It's so sad. Have you seen the interviews with Aaron Smith-Levin? No, I have not. If you have something, then you can absolutely send it to me. Give me a second. And I will. There is so my email. It's going to tag my name. It's kind of stupid, but it's all small letters. Every time I post it, and like makes my name orange, right? Because you don't have to put the @ anymore. So, oh, there we go, Seth. Awesome, thank you, Seth. He's the ringleader. Okay, send me whatever you got, girl. Hey, Mystical, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, sweetheart. So yeah, that kid, I mean, that guy just basically described brainwashing right there.
5 million years ago, the galaxy was ruled by a tyrant named Xenu. One day, Xenu rounded up various wrongdoers and imprisoned them in volcanoes on Earth, which was then called Tidiak.
This is the world, according to church founder L. Ron Hubbard.
Hydrogen bombs were dropped on them. Then their spirits, called Thetans, were trapped in humans. And that is the cause of all our sufferings. Only through Scientology can our Thetans be cleared.
Of course. Only through Scientology. That's it. Nothing else. Come with us and believe in us and bring all your money. Oh my God. It's hard to believe that they believe in it. It's very hard. Hey, Helen? It's crazy.
Do you ever think that you might be quite mad?
Oh, yes. The one man in the world who never believes he's mad is a madman.
Hubbard died in 1986, but his teachings, based seemingly on a mix of science fiction and psychoanalysis, continues today.
We had pictures of him in every room pretty much. You know, we had to clap to his picture at the end of every day, several times a day even.
Since its inception, Scientology has come under intense scrutiny. but never more so than now, after a number of former church members have made serious allegations of abuse and mistreatment. You're not encouraged to have children, are you? Or are you banned from having children?
Well, regular Scientologists are allowed to have children, but members of the Sea Org are not allowed to have children.
And if you fell pregnant, what would happen?
Many people are coerced into having abortions, guilted into it, told that, well, you're not following your billion-year contract, you're betraying us.
Because that's a serious allegation to make, that you're encouraged or made to think that an abortion is an appropriate act.
Oh my gosh, isn't that sad? Oh my gosh. I'd like to think that absolutely nobody could tell me what to do with my body. Absolutely nothing.
It is serious, but it's completely true. It's like many people, many friends of mine, I've even seen it happen in some cases. So yes, it's very serious, but it's completely the truth.
For those who broke any of the church rules, punishment could take many forms. Dallas claims it meant being locked in the basement of this building.
We had premarital sex and we got in trouble, and I was in the basement for 2 weeks and told that if I didn't cooperate, I'd never see Jen again and I'd never see my parents again.
The church has categorically denied Dallas's allegations. Scientology owes much of its high profile to Hollywood, a number of its stars who have embraced the church, including Tom Cruise.
I do what I can, and I do it the way I do everything. There's nothing part of the way for me. It's just...
Cruise and David Miscavige, the church leader, are said to be close friends. But according to Dallas, who worked at the Scientology...
Close friends? I heard that they were almost best friends. That's what I heard. Oh my gosh, right? Oh, scary.
Celebrity Center, there had at one time been some concerns. Tom Cruise is for many the biggest name in the church. When you were there, Dallas, so you were aware that Nicole Kidman had some influence on how...
Helen, I think so too. There's something, I don't know, when I look at Tom, there's just something evil about him. Like, it really is. There really is.
Oh, he was
in my opinion.
Well, yeah, when I was at the celebrity church, he wasn't around. He wasn't on services. And I was told from them that it was because Nicole Kidman was an influence on him.
And not a good one.
And not a good one.
Is it possible for Tom Cruise to have a partner and not... who's not a participant of the church and stay in the church?
As a Scientologist, you believe that Scientology is going to save that person. So if you really love someone, there's almost no chance that you wouldn't do everything you could to make them into a Scientologist.
Having been born and bred a Scientologist and as the niece of David Miscavige, any thoughts of leaving were always going to be a challenge for Jenna. But the idea took seed when the church sent Jenna and Dallas to work in Australia. That was a turning point.
Awesome, KCG. I'll take a look. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You say, for both of you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I had never been around non-Scientologists in my life before. So it was an interesting chance to see that, no, not everyone is a Scientologist. Not everyone is in love with Scientology. And they were actually kind of normal and pretty cool. And all of a sudden you could see everything for what it was, how controlled it was.
The decision to leave the church caused Dallas and Jenna enormous heartache. They claim they were pressured to stay, with threats they would lose all contact with their families. Jenna says she considered suicide. You did stand on a ledge and tell them you would jump.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fairly extreme position to take.
That was the only option I had. I mean, they had taken everything else away from me. They'd taken away my family. They'd moved me away from my friends. so many times. Now they were taking Dallas away. You know, what else could I do? All I knew is that the church feared bad publicity.
It seems to me it still hurts you to this day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Tough. Sorry.
It's okay.
Clearly, it was
Yeah.
a terrible time.
Yeah. I mean, there's, who knows what would have happened. That's the scary thing, is they have so much control and so much mind control over you that you just are at their whim.
Castle Canyon School.
That's a good question, Stargazer. I wonder if they're taught about like who Ron L. Hubbard really was, right? Because we watched the other night some creepy fucking stuff about the guy, you know. And I don't know if they're, you know, if they're actually aware of stuff like that. I would doubt it. I would doubt it myself. So I don't know.
With a big property. It was beautiful. It was a nice place for kids to grow up.
The church has denied all of Jenner's allegations, describing them as tabloid tales which should be taken with a grain of salt. And it has set up a website to refute her claims about the ranch.
I love the experience. It was very heartwarming.
I mean, this is amazing. Like, who gets an experience of working on a farm these days?
Well, of course, the church has declared that you're a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a liar?
No, everything I'm saying is completely true. The church is the liars, you know? I mean, there's so many stories like mine out there that corroborate each other and that they just can't keep a handle on it anymore.
You are accused of exploiting your uncle's name.
Mm-hmm.
You're cashing in on being a Miscavige.
Right. I mean, it's just like what I'm saying is the truth. If by nature of me having his name brings more attention to it, then awesome, because it should.
Jenner and Dallas now live in Southern California, and Jenner has written a book about her time in the church.
I feel like now, finally, I feel like I know myself, you know, I have my own family, I know what I want.
They're parents to children Archie and Winnie, and are now living the life they say they almost lost.
We're all different. We all have something to give. And so to me, the fact that Scientology takes away the chance for people to live their lives and be who they are, to me, that's what makes it dangerous. It's like a crime against humanity, against life itself.
So true, so true. This only has like just maybe another minute left.
Hello, I'm Tom Steinford. Thank you for watching.
No, that's it. Okay. Hello, Sav. How are you?
I'm good, Westby. How are you?
I'm good. Hanging in there, you know.
I love being a little research hound.
Yes. Trying to be anyways.
Oh, no, I'm a little research hound.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh, sorry about that.
That first video that I sent you in that package.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Okay, holy moly. Too many tabs open. Okay, go ahead, honey.
That first video link that I sent you in the package.
Yeah.
Everyone should see it. It is packaged up so bloody well and puts everything into an entire perspective. It's just incredible the way they put it together.
Right. Okay.
It explains pretty much everything. Yeah, it's just amazing, that first one.
Okay, I think I did open that one up. Let me look.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
But what's really interesting about how they have these people called auditors, and they go into talking about the Tom Cruises and the John Travoltas and all that kind of thing. And what they do is they clock up every little piece of personal detail about them into files, which they can pull out at any time and demoralize them in public if they decide to stray from the narrow course of their actions. And so these high profile people are so stuck. And in some of the vision, if you even look at Tom Cruise's face sometimes, he looks like he's putting on the smile. He really does.
Yes.
But John Travolta, he's been in it longer, and he kind of has it down a bit more natural looking when it comes across, and you just kind of go, oh my God, John, what have you done?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but this billion-year thing, there is no such thing as a billion years in anyone's lifetime, so it really should be illegal for one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of crazy, and like for them to get children to sign stuff like that, like that's insane, man. That is insane.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is how, and in that video, that longer one, it explains how they did it, and I think you heinous group of people.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is that video that it's called Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief. And that is the name of the channel as well. So we will have a look at this.
And just to explain to people what going clear means, going clear is the highest certification that a person can receive in Scientology.
Right. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. All right, well, let's get into this one, you guys. It'll probably be pretty good. So I did speed it up a little bit, so if it's too fast, just let me know, you guys.
Psychoanalysis. No, psychoanalysis, they lay back. Don't associate Scientology with such people. That's terrible. That's bad manners.
After many years and much money, those most deserving are saved, deemed clear of bad alien energy. It's the peak that every good Scientologist strives for. And according to Tony, Hubbard's very calculated grand plan to link his religion to celebrities has also helped bring in the money.
He literally put bounties on that.
Yes. Can you imagine how much money they bring in through these celebrities? We were talking about this the other night. You guys remember, for the people that were in here, that like Tom Cruise's last movie. I don't even know what it is right now. Let's Google that right now. Mission. What was it? Mission Impossible 7, is that what it was? Mission Impossible 7 box office. I don't know. Earnings. Okay, so as of right now, I am Googling it and looking at it and reading it. Mission Impossible's 7 box office totals sit at $522 million worldwide. $522 million. And that is like, it says there, it opened below expectations in its domestic opening weekend with a mere 54 million. But it has climbed to 159 million domestically overall, which is good for the 11th highest total this year. The 11th highest total this year. Where do you think most of the money that Tom made himself? Could you imagine how much he made? Unbelievable. Let's Google that for a second and just actually see if it says. Tom Cruise net worth. So Tom Cruise this is from May 10th to 2023. Tom Cruise is an American actor and producer who has a net worth of over $600 million. He makes $50 million a year. And he's 61 years old. He is unfucking believable. That is so much money. And could you imagine, like how much of the church gets that? Oh my God, it's crazy, man. Fucking like so much money. They could like change. They really could change the world with all that money that they have, the billions of dollars that they have, you know. But they're so fucking greedy. They have to build the big buildings. They have to show off. They have to drive the nice cars. They have to, you know, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Tommy is losing a shit ton of money, though, on his last movie. Is he losing money on it, even though it made that much? That's crazy. It won't even break even. Wow. Crazy, crazy.
On the heads of celebrities and asked his members to bring them in. They didn't have very much success at first.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
But then in the 1970s, they started to get people like John Travolta and Kirstie Alley. In the 1980s, they got Tom Cruise. And they knew that this was a key to getting a better, you know, public image for Scientology.
With the Masterson conviction, that public image is taking a battering.
As it should.
It was never a question for me that it was the right thing to do to testify.
Former Scientologist Claire Headley was the prosecution's star witness in the Masterson rape trial.
Claire.
After 30 years in the
We love
church,
Claire.
her expertise was called on to expose to the court the disturbing inner workings of Scientology. What were some of the tactics you talked about in the court?
The policies that forbid Scientology.
The link for what, Cheese? What link, honey bun? Let me know.
Just from reporting to law enforcement, the consequences for a Scientologist if they were to violate that, where Scientology will then work systematically to destroy your life, your family, your livelihood, and silence you.
So you go to the police to report a crime or a rape in particular. What happens to you then?
It is a high crime to do so.
Initially, the women who were raped by Masterson, who were also Scientologists, reported the attacks to the church. The shocking response was classic Scientology methodology.
Yeah, let me guess. We'll take care of it. Don't you worry. Don't tell anybody and don't do it. You know, we'll take care of it. Yeah, I'm sure.
The women were victim shamed and predictably forbidden from reporting to police. Eventually, they did, but it would take a staggering 12 years before the allegations were investigated by authorities.
They not only alleged that they were raped and that the church encouraged them not to come forward, but then when they did come forward in 2016, they claimed that they've been harassed continually.
Why would Scientology turn against these women?
If somebody is, you know, the victim of crime, they're made to believe that they're at fault for it.
The testimony of Claire, with the support of husband Mark, was a pivotal point in the trial. As once high-ranking Scientology officials turned whistleblowers, they packed a punch. Claire was able to decipher for the jury the church's own records. She uncovered a paper trail that showed the church was doing all it could to protect Danny Masterson.
It was very important because...
Of course they did, right? Because having a artist within your congregation, within your cult, within your church, whatever you want to call it, doesn't look good, right? So of course they're going to be like, no, it's all good. We'll take care of it. Don't tell anybody, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, crazy. What do we got here? Cheese. Nope. Panel. You don't see the link for the panel at the top? On the top of the chat? You don't? Is that what you're looking for? Because I see it pinned. It should be pinned. I can drop it again if you want it. Absolutely. There we go. It should be there for you now.
because particularly in this case, there were Scientology reports that indicated these crimes had been reported immediately when they happened. However, the reports were laden with the language of Scientology that had to be decoded in such a way that anybody could understand what took place. And that was the role that I played.
Was there specific evidence that in this case the church had knowledge of these rapes and covered them up?
100%. They actively coached and convinced the victims to, when they did report things, to not use certain words and not use certain terminology and not to say the R word and not to mention the firearm. And all these sort of things all kind of add up to, you guys were trying to brush this under the rug.
Of course they were, right? Oh my God. It's just so disgusting how deep like the manipulation goes with these kind of organizations. Oh my gosh.
Not that you were trying to
Not even an
spiritually enlighten anybody
organization,
along
it's
the
a
way.
fucking cult.
Is this the most significant step towards the church becoming accountable? In the eyes of the law, at least.
The coverage has been devastating. The testimony has been brutal. But Tara, I'm still waiting to see if there are any government agencies willing to do something. I don't know how much longer we're going to have to wait for a more serious probe of Scientology and the way that it's victimizing people.
Those victims may feel they have a
Right.
stronger voice now Scientology has been exposed through the Masterson rape trial. But
Yes,
as you'll
I
see,
hope so.
for those disaffected by the church, the first and greatest challenge remains getting out.
Oh my gosh, I was panicking, but I couldn't let anybody see me.
So you had one chance at this.
Yes, yeah, that was it. It's insane. It's crazy.
Okay, day 2, being followed by a different vehicle, and I've tried to ditch them 3 times. And
By daring to leave it, Valerie Haney has made the Church of Scientology very angry.
Her story is just unbelievable. We'll take a look at her story maybe one of these days here too, because her story is just unbelievable. She has a lot to say, this girl, and I've seen her interviews, a few of her interviews and stuff, and she's amazing. She's amazing.
And I've just spent the last half an hour trying to lose him.
In retaliation, she says she is often followed and harassed. To further intimidate her, her house has been broken into.
Oh, are you the one who broke into the gate?
Yes, you remember me.
All this from a church.
Isn't that crazy too? You ask them and they're like, yeah, it's me. Like, what the fuck? What? Like, get the fuck away from me, man. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh. Ginger Locks, I'm trying to see what's going on. What's going on? Oh, my son backed up and read it to me. I just want to hug ya. One Al Hubbard let his third wife go to jail for him. Oh, really? My God, see, there's so much in this story. I think I feel like, I'm sorry you guys that we like jump around from, back in the day to current events to back in the day or whatever, but it's just so hard to like really keep track of everything, honestly. So when I see something pop up, I'm like, oh, we should watch that because, oh, wow, that looks interesting. So yeah,
Church that was once her entire existence.
I was born into it, so there was no like outside schooling, outside life, outside friends, outside anything.
Thank you for that update, Hope. I appreciate that. KCG, we have fires in BC. All over the place. If you want to go back in this live, rewind or watch it after. We talked about it a little bit in the beginning. So yeah. Hello, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
All right. I kind of got lost in the mix. What are you talking about now?
We're still on Scientology. We're talking about like the tricks and stuff that they do to keep things quiet, and like talking about like the Danny Masterson trial and stuff like that. How a few years ago he's been accused of this before, but the church kind of hid it for him, and now he is. Now they're like talking about how people might have power to speak out again. So yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to come up was because that other lady that was up here was talking about cults and
Yeah.
Satanism being a religion.
Uh-huh.
Right? Remember?
That was
Okay,
KCG, I think. Yeah.
is she still here? I can't see the
Yep.
chat. I'm turning on another device right now.
Yeah. Yeah. She's still here.
Okay, because a little bit about myself. I've been studying religion, occults, all that my entire life. And Satanism, she said that Satanism was a religion. And I was just going to ask her what form or what denomination, for lack of better terms, Satan is
Right.
she talking about?
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware of, in the United States, the Temple of Set is the only or closest thing to a satanic religion that's recognized as a religion.
Right. KCG, she said in the chat that the Church of Satan is a religion.
But I'm asking, like, what? Who's Satan? Are you talking like Anton LaVey's Black Church, Satanic Church? Who's? It doesn't even make sense because Satanism isn't a religion in itself.
Yeah. 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 She
In order
said.
for something to be a religion, technically it has to practice dogma, right?
Right. Right. Yes.
That's what defines a religion. There has to be gatherings and dogma. What does satanic dogma consist of?
I don't know.
It doesn't. I'm just saying it doesn't, and it's not recognized as a religion in the United States, and I've never even heard of it being a religion anywhere in the world. Like, we'll say that OTO, which was kind of went into the other day when you were showing videos of Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
That's like the religion that he was a part of, and then he started his own religion, which was Thelema.
Yeah.
Okay, and is she saying that like that's a religion, a satanic religion, which it's really not?
She said yes. It's based in hedonism.
Who?
Hedonism. Am I saying that right?
Heathenism.
Hedonism. Hedonism. Maybe she spelled it wrong. I'm not quite sure. But I have this right here, and I won't see chat just for a second because I got to click on to read this. And
Okay, this is Anton LaVey. This is Anton LaVey's religion, which I recommend everybody read the book that he wrote, the Satanic Bible. That's a must read for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
And if there ever was, don't judge a book by its cover, it's exactly that book.
Right.
Because Anton LaVey doesn't believe in, or he taught that there was no such thing as a God, a devil, a hell, anything supernatural.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. So the definition here on it's on Wikipedia that says the Church of Satan is a religious organization dedicated to the religion of
Anton LaVey.
And codified in the Satanic Bible. The Church of Satan was established at the Black House in San Francisco, California, on Wall Snap. I don't know what that says. By Anton LaVey, who was the church's highest priest until his death in 1997. In 2001, Peter Gilmore was appointed to the position of high priest, and the church's headquarters moved to Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan, New York. It says here, members do not believe that Satan literally exists and do not worship him. Instead, Satan is viewed Instead, Satan is viewed as a positive archetype, embracing the Hebrew root of the word Satan, an adversary who represents pride, carnality, and enlightenment. And of a cosmos which Satanists perceive to be motivated by a dark evolutionary force of entropy that permeates all of nature and provides the drive for survival and propagation inherent in all living things. So that basically, I guess, is what. And there's a lot more. I mean, there's so much, right? Maybe I'll put the link in here if anybody wants to read some more about this, because I mean, Wikipedia is always a good place to go. So.
Yeah, basically what it's talking about Anton LaVey and how he started the Satanic Church, but they didn't believe, or he didn't preach that there is a physical entity, either on the good or the bad, right?
Yeah.
And this is technically not even around anymore. When Anton LaVey passed away, it kind of went with him. His daughter, we had two daughters that continued the legacy, as did I can't think of the guy's name right now. The one you just mentioned, he's kind of faded into darkness too.
Peter Gilmore.
Yeah, Peter Gilmore.
Okay.
But one of his daughters and her husband started their own religion, which is the Church of Set, right? And it's an ancient religion. It's actually an old Egyptian religion, right? And that's recognized as a legit church or religion in America, but it's not really based on Luciferian theory or Satanism. It's the god Set, and I don't know. I just wanted to come up and say, yo, she was wrong. There's no satanic churches recognized, especially in America and across the world. I highly doubt it, because there's not a religion that practices dogma. I mean, what would their dogma be? It just doesn't even really make sense. And another thing about cults, and why Scientology is not a cult. Typically, for a cult, for it to be classified as a cult, there has to be sex practices. That's part of being a cult. And Church of Scientology doesn't practice any, that we know of, any sexual practices.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of things that we hear about Church of Scientology is from excommunicated people. None of it's founded.
Yeah.
It's just accusations.
Right. KCG's up here, so maybe she can answer some things for you. Hi, honey. How are you? Thanks for coming back.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Oh, first, actually, before you start, Infodel Lady, if you're still here, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. I do have it pinned, so I didn't forget to say thank you to you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Backwoods. I appreciate you. Thank you. Go ahead, KCG.
What I wanted to explain is that first, in order to understand, there is, hold on, am I making noise still?
No, you're good. That was me.
Okay. When I meant to explain about this Church of Satan, and in the back I put the link to you about the article. In 2019, they finally got their 501c3 status, so they are a recognized church in the United States. But no, it's not Satanism as you might think it. It is LaVey's ideas, but it has absolutely carried on, has not disappeared. But their roots are in hedonism, and anybody can do whatever they want, feel good as long as it doesn't hurt other people. It is one of those. It's not what you would think about people sitting around the satanic panic kind of situation from before. But when we talk about a cult, it is largely recognized that there's a man named John Atack he has a list of things that qualifies as a cult. And while you might think sex would be a part of that, it's not like one of the main identifiers. And for something to be a cult, it has to have like a central leader. It has to take people away from their family. It has to have a certain amount of mind control. But you can definitely have a cult without having any sex. I mean, if you look at David Miscavige, he's definitely not having any. But he is right about a lot of the things. It's not like you would think Satanism to be, but it is definitely there. And when you look at all the religions in America, it's the bottom of the bunch. No babies are being eaten, and if there are, they're certainly not human babies. How many of you guys were around when we listened to our records, slowly backwards? I should probably go because I'm bugging everybody.
Sorry, I was muted. Go ahead, hon.
No, I didn't mean to come on like I'm sitting down there like arguing, yelling, and I don't mean to do that. I guess sometimes when when you have experienced something, I haven't personally, but when you know something, you want to I didn't mean to argue or cause any issue with your other panel guest. It just
He's fine. He's fine. He'll be fine. Don't worry about cheese. His device disconnected, so like a battery might.
I was worried that I made him because he's right about a lot of what he's saying, the ideas and the thoughts and the practice. And what's sad about it is some folks don't know what he knows, so they hear Church of Satan and they think this direction when he's right. Unfortunately, it's got like a two-edged sword. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. She's just said that he's having problems staying up. I hear so. You didn't make him jump down, and you didn't do anything. This is what we love here on this channel is like hearing from other people, different perspectives, right? That's how we learn. And I'm really happy that you came back to let us know what your thoughts are and what you were thinking, right? So absolutely, I love that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And the thing is, the only reason I ever kind of connected with this information about this article I sent you here was because that stupid poll that I saw that I learned came from Scientology. But I honestly, this is an area where, if you notice, folks are kind of interested. Oh, look, in my 20s to play D&D. Let me tell you, if you know what a THACO is, and you have a D20, a dohexahedron, you know what those are. And if you played D&D, maybe you played a D&D, but never past that. You're my kind of people.
I was never a D&D kind of person, but I know what it is. But I was never a player.
Listen, we were in the marching band, and we had long rides. No, actually, I learned a lot by doing things like that. And
Yeah.
one thing that it made me learn is that mystical, magical, scary things,
Yeah.
most of them have like a really good backstory. I think folks, when they don't understand things or when they're scared by things, they tend to, make much bigger deal out of it. They tend to make things. I want to learn to play it. You know what? D&D today is nothing because it's all online and everything's done for you. We sat around with a bunch of dice, 10,000 cans of Mountain Dew, and
That's so true. Oh my goodness.
but I honestly think that this is an area where listen, it's not just having people tell people, like, because so much of the cult stuff right now online is expert telling non-expert instead of people like having conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would love to get because if he hadn't started talking, I mean, I think that is it cheese? When the thing reads it out loud to me, it says like all the, I don't know what his name is. Anyway,
I'm not sure either.
I would be interested in hearing how other people in other places think about it, and like, can you, is there a Church of Satan in Australia? Do they have tax exempt status?
I'm not sure. Sav is here. Sav, do you know? She's in the chat. So, do they have churches like this over in Australia? She'll answer in a second.
Well, if they don't, I'm thinking we need to take a vacation down there and start one. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm just joking. Okay.
Oh, I love you, girl. We'll talk to you soon.
You're gonna have to kick me off here because I have no idea what I'm doing, but I am going to sleep.
All right. Well, I love you and have a good sleep, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.
Okay, good night, you guys. I'm sorry if I hijack things, but I would love to have this conversation more.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you didn't hijack nothing. You're very welcome to come up anytime you want.
As long as we don't talk about Katie Joy, I'm there.
Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah, absolutely. I'm good there too. Absolutely. All right. You have a good night, hon.
Yeah, you gotta kick me off. I don't know what buttons or what.
Okay. All right. Goodbye. Hello, Miss Sav.
I was hoping she'd stay. We could talk.
Oh, well, maybe she'll come back out. She said she was going to go to bed, so I think it's pretty late where she is. So
there are satanic things here, but they're not. Some of them are not as open as the better known ones. So like the better known ones here are like Plymouth Brethrens.
Right.
They're quite evil in their own way. And I know families, locally here in Tamworth that have even escaped them, never to return, had to leave their fathers and that behind and that. There's a new one that's been discovered here, but not so new. It was just that it was never talked about, and it was something to do with some guy. I have to go and look it up because this one is something to do with some guy in Korea who have people in various cities around the world where they groom women to send over to him like sex slaves. So it definitely is a cult.
Yeah.
And there is a court case going on with it as well. No, the Plymouth Brethren here in Australia, they're less than Mennonites. They would wear a scarf on their head, which is very small, but they're not allowed to cut their hair. They don't have to tie it up. But they're not allowed anywhere on their own. The girls, things like that. But, behind the scenes in the houses, it's very, very hush-hush.
Wow.
But you know, one of my, I think I had a couple of girls in my year at school who were Plymouth, and they weren't happy. They just weren't happy people, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So there are satanic kinds of things everywhere. It's just a matter of, like, here they're more underground. You know, like our biggest cult kind of thing here would be Hillsong.
Right.
And I think he's the founder of Hillsong or something like that. He comes from the USA. He's actually in big trouble for sexual offenses.
Oh yeah, that is I talked about him.
Brian, what's his name?
He's a hockey player. He's a, what does he play? He plays soccer or something, or oh my goodness.
I mean, it's even that bad that our own previous prime minister was involved with the bloke, you know.
Andrew Tate?
No, it's Brian something.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Andrew Tate. I don't know.
I'd have to go and look it up and then come back on that one, because I haven't got it.
Brian Houston?
I've got something else. Moonies. What's a Moonies?
I don't know.
Huh. Yeah. So yeah, there are cults here, and you know, it's more like dark magic kind of things. Yeah, a lot of these things are well, one of the big ones. Another one of the big ones here that's come out is let me think of the name. I think they call themselves
Oh, hang on, guys. She'll pop back in. She'll pop back up. Okay, so you said that it was Brian Houston. Okay, he popped up actually when I went to Google and I just put in just Brian, and he popped up. So, oh, there's that. Hello, you're like a bunny.
Sorry, I like a little hopper. Yeah, Common Ground is they used to have, like, they are more like Mennonites, I would say.
Right.
And what they did was they used to have these compounds. I think they still have them, where people, you know, would go into them and stuff and probably not come out. But they used to have food stalls, say at the Sydney Easter Show or something like that, or they've got a food stall, say in the Blue Mountains, and the food is actually really good.
Right.
But when they've gone behind the scenes, they've found, I think they found with this one dead children and stuff like that.
Oh, goodness.
As well. So that's a really bad one, because on the outset they look like really nice, clean cut people.
Yeah.
So that would be the closest to like an Amish style Mennonite kind of thing that we have here. But I'm pretty sure that they don't have the idea that they can't use, you know, they can use modern things like cars and stuff like that, though, you know.
Right.
But I'd have to go and look into that. That would be an interesting one, that one, going into that, because, like, yeah, they have been caught out and there is court cases on that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting.
Because the way they dress, the men, you know, the men do, you know, have the beards and stuff, but they don't seem to abide by it like an Amish style haircut for a man, for an example.
Right.
But the women, they do, like the men and the women do dress plain, though.
Wow.
Yeah, they dress plain.
I found this guy that you were talking about.
Oh, cool.
And there is I found this little video, and it is titled, there is a verdict due in Brian Houston case.
Yeah, Brian Houston.
Yeah. Hillsong leader accused of not reporting abuse allegations about his father. Oh,
yeah. And the big thing about it was that when we had pandemic here, Hillsong had done some deal with our Prime Minister to still be able to hold a Hillsong conference kind of thing with 20,000 people in it when nobody else could do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, very crazy. Very crazy. And like it caused a lot of problems here because like, I mean, a lot of people couldn't do anything and there were lots of other people.
Yeah. Oh, what happened here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're never going to get rid of it. Where did she go?
Oh, she pops it. She'll pop back up again.
Okay. So I sent you that specific study.
In the chat here.
The Unification Church rep. So do you see it in the? I sent it to you through on StreamYard.
Yep.
That's where I don't know. I think that's fantastic. It's a really easy thing to look at and a good place to start because some people know a lot of those things.
Yeah.
So see, I mean, let me back into this. I was raised. My father was an atheist,
right?
And so I was. I wasn't just raised without religion. I was raised against religion. Except my mother was a Christian. Don't even ask.
Right.
And then my mother decided. I think it was 9. She's like, "We're going to be Christians." And she stood up to my dad, which I think was great, but she decided we were going to be Catholic. And I mean, from an atheist to a Catholic was like, holy hell. So I had to do a lot of learning. Did it go to you or no?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Did the yoga thing go to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it.
Good.
Yeah, I can bring it up if you want.
I'm just curious how other people, when they look at these conversations, if it makes them feel like we're, I don't know. I don't mean to ever talk down about any other religion. To me, I've always been a student of religions because all of it, you know what I mean? I went from one to the bananas other. And for me, I'm just fascinated by what makes people believe in things and how does that go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that we need to have more discussions along these lines about these things because it's something that, I mean, you know, like talking about the actual, you know, nitty gritty of belief and stuff like that. You don't want to like offend people in that sense, but talking about the other side of the coin, you know, where you've got, you know, what on the outset seems like a passive and wonderful community on the inside really isn't, you know. These are the things that people do need to know about, you know. So,
yeah.
I mean, the more awareness that people have, like you can still, you know, go places and see people and respect them for most of them who they are because, like, that's okay. But at least you know what you're getting involved with by, you know, being in either in business with them or whatever. Because, like, the Amish are very, very wealthy people. A lot of these sects, if you want to just put the word sect across them, they're very, very wealthy institutions.
Yeah.
That's my favorite lesson when I used to teach. Today, we're going to talk about, and I would spell it just like this.
Oh, that's funny.
Sorry, I taught special ed. We always had fun. Go ahead.
Yeah, I bet. Thank goodness. Oh yeah, well, this is the website here that you sent me, and I will pin the. Oh, I'll put it anyways. The oh, that's a long one.
Yeah. And I think if you scroll down, it's like a really good graphic where you can sort of see. Because honestly, like I cannot tell you how many people believe that a cult is whatever Kay Joy would say, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I don't mean to bring up drama, but I'm saying like those kids dancing, maybe there's like some coercive stuff in that church.
Yeah,
But we're
yeah.
talking about like really different things. And
Yeah.
But we like drama here, KCG.
Well, honey,
haven't you been to one of our other sessions?
Say it one more time.
I said we like drama here.
Yes, we do like drama here.
we have an element of enjoyment with drama.
Unfortunately, some of this drama is just, well, see, I got into an argument with a conservative Christian, like a quiverful Christian, about whether or not Catholicism was a cult or basically, and you have to understand, I came from everything I knew about Catholicism, I learned as a Catholic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm the only child of parents who had too much attention and time and money, and I don't not bragging about that, but like I grew up I spent half of my like middle childhood in Europe. So it wasn't just like I learned about Catholicism, like we went to Rome, we went to Israel. And so some of those experiences, you know, the Catholicism, when you're a person learning about it, like not growing up in it, there's this idea that Catholicism was the church that Jesus told Matthew and Mark, this is what I want you to do. You know, that whole like the transubstantiation where they turn the body and blood, they reenact the Last Supper, right? And that freaks people out. They take communion and they believe it's the body. Well, Catholics tend to think that they are the first Christians. And then they argue with the Lutherans. And it just, I went to the kind of school, I'm just going to leave it at this. Our European history honors class, we put Martin Luther on trial for heresy against the Catholic Church. Does anybody know where I'm at with that?
Don't forget you can go back in time. Someone's got a microphone somewhere.
Yes.
Don't forget you can go back in time where if you were a Protestant, you were killed because you weren't Catholic.
Absolutely. And then when the Reformation was happening in UK, it flipped. They were hiding Catholics in like in the walls of, you know, their cathedrals. And the truth is, America, and I think Australia too, largely was founded on people trying to escape those kinds of religions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but over the years, if I was to go back in time, over the years, the Catholic Church has been very, very powerful in influencing government, though, in Australia. I'll tell you that now. That's been widely documented. And I mean, even to the point where, you know, you've got George Pell, who recently died, and some of us think he was helped by the Vatican to die, who was involved in the, you know, abuse of children. There was a royal commission and he was part of it. He was actually jailed for it too, but then he went back to court and got out of it, and then so he went back to Rome after that, but he managed to squeeze out of it. But it was really bad because, like, I mean, one of the big things that, you know, probably helped exposing the you know, abuse of kids in the Catholic Church would have been the work that the Washington Post did. What was it, Boston Globe or something, did on that expose, because that actually spurred phone calls into their office worldwide. The people that have been investigated in Australia, the investigations have been going on for years, and it's gotten to the point now where there is only one survivor, and they're like, nobody wants to believe them, you know. So all of them have died, or they've unalived themselves because of it.
Yeah.
Is there a religion in Australia that's like the national religion? Like in the UK, the Church of England is supposed to be the national church or whatever.
Well,
But
no, basically we would call it just Christianity. So, like, if you're, Baptist, you're Baptist. If you're Church of England, you're Church of England. If you're Catholic, you're Catholic. Or
is it like officially, or is it just like that's the most popular religion?
well, I wouldn't say that any of them are most popular anymore because we've got that many multicultural people. It's like incredibly diverse. So if I was to go back to a census, I would probably find that Christianity is a minority now.
Okay, well, this article that you sent to me is from December 23rd, 2022. So just over a year ago. And let me show it.
I think it's like 6 months. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right here. Where'd it go? Here. So right here, it says net favorably of U.S. religious groups, organizations, and belief systems. Christianity is number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then scroll down all to the bottom, and Satanism is at the end. It's tied with the Church of Scientology.
That's what I was trying. That was the whole point of this. The whole thing that I was trying to get to was that, which I thought was hilarious.
Right there on the bottom, those the last two there. Church of Scientology and Satanism, both minus 49.
Look at that. Wicca is above the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
What do you mean none of the last place religions are satanic? I did want to sort of like put out there, I did not stick with the Catholic faith. I tried it for a while. My practice husband was a Wiccan, which really made my parents excited because we had a hand fasting.
Right.
I didn't stick with that either. But if you look, there's a church right above the Seventh-day Adventist called the Unitarian Universalism. And that is like kind of a church, but not really. That's where I took my kids. It was sort of like a place where everybody's religion was okay and we all learned from each other.
Right.
I found that to be a place where I could go and learn. But honestly, anytime I have to go and sit in a room on a Sunday morning, I would rather have this kind of conversation or take the kids out to the woods or.
Yeah.
But I think having these conversations with children is what keeps them from going into cults. And that's why I was real specific with my kids. I said, I don't pick whatever religion you want. However, it's got to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's really interesting about that demographic info is that most people identify as Christianity that have a belief in following the good book, but don't go to a specific church because they don't find that the way the churches act or perform is of any benefit to them. So they prefer just to keep the good book themselves and they.
Yes, I agree with her. That's very true what she was saying. I absolutely agree with her. Like Christian, oh God, there's so much with churches, I live in of course up in Canada here, we've been dealing with like the residential schools, and like that were run by churches and, these kids were taken and their lives were taken as well. And they just, buried them in a hole somewhere and just forgot about them. Like, It's crazy. Religion is just such a crazy space for anybody, really, you know, to
We
dig
only have
deep.
to look at the Middle East to know how bad it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
ever
Well,
since I was a child, you know, that's like believe it or not, you know, nearly 60 years ago, it was going on before I was born, and it's still going now. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't think
right.
they'll ever resolve the problems between Palestine and Israel, you know,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
all over
Well, because there should.
Abraham's tomb.
Go
I
ahead,
think.
Kiss.
Oh, I'm not sure if I want to walk down that road just yet. I think one thing that I did get from my practice husband about from Wicca, which I think is really common with Christianity, with everything. It's called, I think of the Wiccan readers, but it's something to do with if it doesn't hurt anybody, or and it harm none, do it thou will. And I think that that's really, you know, love everybody, respect people, and then open yourself up to, even if you don't agree, allow them space if it's not hurting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
I think
I think if a lot of people just went back to the basis of the good old 10 Commandments, you know, thou shalt not, thou shalt respect mother and father, thou shalt not kill.
Yes,
You've
right.
pretty much got the foundation for your life, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, a lot of the things that are in the Bible came from some of those earlier pagan faiths, but also, you know, the Quran takes also from the Bible. The people of the book, which is the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, all of them have a very common theology, a common backstory, and they interweave. Now, you may not agree with, you know, this person or that person, but they all have they have the same background. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
They do have the same background, but when it comes to Islam, the problem with Islam is it's like going into the Amish. If you go into the Amish and you can't leave, and you do leave, then you've got to leave everything behind. Basically, that's what happens to you if you're in Islam too. So, and the way that they treat their women is
But stop and think about the IDLP
bullshit.
right now. Think about Josh Duggar, Nana Duggar, and all those people.
Yes,
They
yeah.
can't divorce. You can't do this. You're not allowed to. Women can't have power. Women can't vote. I mean, it's really, anytime you go extreme in any religion, you're going to have problems.
Yeah, but the difference is that if you've got a person who is a non-extremist in a Christian type religion or even a Wicca type religion, that's okay. But in Islam, it is not, and they are not considered to be Islamic. I've studied this. I have studied this big time.
Okay.
There are about 10 different types of Islamic faith. And the worst ones are the Sunnis. And if you don't...
Go ahead.
Oh, poor Sav. She's always popping up and down in between sentences.
In Michigan, we have the largest population of Muslims in the entire United States.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And I don't want to, I feel like I'm sitting up here sounding like I don't know how to explain this.
No, you're doing just fine, hon. Don't you worry about it.
Please understand that I can't see very well, and I spent a lot of time recovering from a kidney surgery and reading and listening to a lot of books. But Islam, the Sunni and the Shia have been at it as long as the Lutherans and the Methodists and the Catholics.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah, but
honest.
how many Lutherans and Catholics and Protestants do you know that still stone women for infidelity?
I can tell you that there are a lot of Christian religions that do as much or worse. I mean,
Yeah.
there's very few. I mean, you got to step back from religion versus like custom or tradition in that area.
That's not a custom. It's not a custom, and it's not a tradition.
Sharia law, being the law of the land, is very different than people who believe in Allah. Does that make sense?
Oh, I know about Sharia law.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that
Sharia
when you
law
got
is-
Sharia law, they don't believe in any other country's law either.
But there are not very many countries that do that. It's not Islam.
We have people conducting Sharia law in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yep. And
Wow.
there is such a thing as a Sharia law. So if you're actually for the Muslim faith and you go to your imam and you get a letter, you can go to the bank and you can get an interest-free loan, which no one else can do.
That's not. Yeah, but that's it. Go ahead.
So the Sharia law is practiced in Australia.
Right.
Well, Sharia law is when you take the specific laws of Islam and you make them the government. So, like in Iran right now, or also in Afghanistan, when they're forcing women to wear the veil, when they're forcing women to not be educated, that's when you take the tenets of Islam and you make them the governmental focus. Because, like right now in Toronto and Canada, there's a huge amount of folks that are Muslim. Some of them wear full veils. They wear the whole, they wear the niqab and the hijab, and there's some that just wear hijab, and there's Muslims all over Canada that don't cover their hair at all.
Yes, yes.
And they have full freedom and full rights, and they don't have to do this or do that. They can if they want, but it's not the government saying they can do this and this and this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Then they're not considered. Then they're not considered to be practicing Muslims. Then.
Oh no, absolutely.
They're not. The more liberated they become, the less they are considered to be practicing Muslims. So this is the problem with the Muslim faith in trying to, to make it more civil, is they don't want to make it more civil. They don't, because they don't believe in it. And the thing is that they will try to operate their own governmental practices on Sharia law in any country that they go to, because they have no loyalties to any country. Like I was saying the other day on panel, I had a friend who's Turkish, born in Australia. Her son was born in Australia, and at the age of 11, the father was lining him up for national service in Turkey. He's not Turkish. He's Australian, born in Australia, has no reason to go to Turkey to do national service, but the dad was lining the kid up at the age of 11.
Yeah.
And that's heinous.
Yeah, absolutely. I do know what KCG was saying as to talking about like how it like up in Canada, like there are communities where you can either wear your hijab or you can't or you don't or whatever, you can do certain things. And I know that like that is like more of like, I know that does happen, and it's like they call it like modern
They're full niqabis. I mean, they're fully covered head to toe by choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was recently watching have you guys ever watched it's called My Orthodox Life, I think it's called.
Oh, like Unorthodox on Netflix?
Yes. That was a really good like eye-opening. Sorry, Thab.
That's all right.
I think you were here and then I kicked you out and then I put you back. But yeah,
I think you did.
yeah, like My Unorthodox Life, that was a really kind of an eye-opening thing for me, actually, to like learn about modern religion is what they call it, right? They like My Orthodox Life, of course, they are Jewish, but they live like a modern Jewish life, right? Like they don't follow the, in Judaism, like your girl's supposed to wear skirts and like things like that. Well, they wear pants and they, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. And that was actually really eye-opening to me. They talk a lot about like why they do that and how they do it, and just the reasoning why and stuff like that. But they still do follow their religion. They still, but it's like modified, I guess, whatever, So I don't know. It's such a deep thing to dig into. Right? All this religious stuff, and my goodness, just deep as heck.
we had a case here a couple of years ago now, and it's really strange. 2 young girls in their very early 20s came out from Saudi Arabia, fleeing Saudi Arabia, and they must have been followed or something like that, and they had quite reclusive kind of lifestyle when they were here. Anyway, so time goes on, and they're found dead in this apartment that they rented.
Right.
And they'd been dead for at least a month. And the first thing that happened was the Australian government allowed the remains to be shipped back to Saudi Arabia.
Oh. Yeah, I hear what you're saying there.
So these girls, fleeing, died in a free country from whatever it was that they died from.
Yeah.
Their remains were shipped back to Saudi Arabia where they fled.
Yeah.
So they were being followed or something as well.
Yeah. Nobody will ever know what happened to them,
I don't know whether they've closed it off or not, or whether they're still looking for information on that one. But I mean, it's just really odd because they were living in what we call Western Sydney, which is the Canterbury district. And I'm sure that I used to pass the apartment block concerned, on my way to work, this particular apartment block. And, you just go past these places and you go, oh my God, that's where someone, has been dead for a couple of months. And over here, if you have someone die from a heinous crime in a property, you have to state it when you put it up for real estate.
Yeah, you have to do that here too. Yeah.
So, you can't sell it and say nothing. You've got to say something. About it.
Yeah, and sometimes.
I'm going to tell you what, in Michigan, it's probably a lot like California. I interacted a lot with ESL students at the university. And I'll tell you, when I started getting cancer, this was like, 2012, 2013, those ladies hooked me up with some of the best, I didn't wear the hijab like they would, but they had those underscarves, and they taught me some really neat ways to not look like I had cancer. Does that make any kind of sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do have respect for women who choose to be modest, not specifically Muslim or Jewish or anything, but if you choose that and that's what you personally want for yourself, I mean, I really do have a lot of respect for it. It's probably a lot more than I have respect for women who choose to not wear any, you know what I mean? Or
yes, yeah, I hear you. Hey Rowena, how are you? Coming in late?
If I was to go to a certain part of Sydney, which is very, very enclaved in the Islamic culture, and I was to wear a pair of jeans and like a sport top, like a Lorna Jane tank top kind of thing, and a pair of shoes, I would be underdressed.
Wow.
It's possible, but you would not be stoned and beaten. Do you know what I mean?
No, the looks can kill too. And I tell you what, they don't like. We were actually in a pub there one night, and we were talking about the Islam and all that kind of thing, and we were just being really nice, and there wasn't any problems with the patrons or anything, but it took one person to get offended and they threw us all out.
Oh yeah.
I think what I learned from these conversations is that I always have more to learn, but I appreciate, like, I'm watching, well, I'm not watching, I'm like listening halfway to people coming through. There's a channel that came up called Jar of Fireflies. This is a Sephardic Orthodox woman who converted. So she was raised in a sort of quasi-Christian faith.
Yeah.
And she chose to become an Orthodox Jew.
Right.
And Orthodox Judaism is as restrictive as Islam can be. And there's so many rules and so many things you've got to do, and stand up, sit down, this way, that way. And I still find that I learn from watching that channel as much as I learn from,
I think the difference between Orthodox Jews and women covering their hair is that they're actually allowed to wear a wig that's similar to their own hair.
They can choose one or the other.
Yeah, but they can still wear something that looks like hair. They don't have to, like, they have to cover their own hair, but they don't have to dress from head to toe in a niqab.
Right, and not every Islamic woman will cover head to toe in a niqab. Some will just wear a light hijab. Some don't wear it at all.
Yep, and that's where I come back to the fact that there's different levels within their sect. There's many different levels within their sect, and if they are not wearing anything, they are not considered practicing Muslim.
Well, they're considered, it's a woman's choice. But see, the Sephardic Jewish women, they not only have to cover their hair out with a wig or a scarf, they have to cover it in also. So in the home, out of the home, all the time. And some of the Orthodox Jewish women actually shave their hair. That's more Hasidic and less Sephardic.
Muslim women are not allowed to show any other man their hair other than their husband.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, call me like uneducated. I'm not like sure about this, but I was just going to ask, like, what is it about the woman's hair that, like, they have to cover it up? Like,
well, it comes back to the fact that they just can't keep it in their pants.
No, it comes back to the fact that Hashem gave the Jewish people the commandment that if you believe in me or if you follow me, you will, perform this, whatever. So the Jewish women initially were the ones who started covering their hair, and then the Christians kind of came in. And remember, the Islam came after Christianity. So,
well, they would argue that differently, though.
Okay.
They will tell you that Islam came before Christianity.
No, because they consider Jesus to be a prophet, and
no, so they consider Muhammad to be a prophet.
Muhammad was the last prophet, but Jesus they do consider him a prophet.
Any Muslim I've ever talked to never ever talks about Jesus. They don't talk about Jesus.
They don't follow Jesus. They consider him like a great man, like Moses was a great man. But they say Muhammad was the last prophet. But they do respect Jesus. They just do not consider him to be part of God or God. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anything you guys say makes sense to me, I guess, because I'm not really sure about all of this stuff. So I'm learning, and you guys are educating me. And that's for sure. Gosh.
So what it comes down to is the tomb of Abraham over in the Middle East, if you watch a documentary on it, there is actually two entrances to it. There is the Muslim entrance, and then there's the Christian entrance.
Right.
So they can't come to agreement on it. And they've been fighting over it for many, many years. And it's a real eye-opener when you see these things on documentary, you know, and I say again, you know, you might be correct in KCG in what you're saying in one sense, but if you go and talk to someone in a Muslim faith, they will argue to black and blue to your black in the face that Islam came first. And that is why there is two entrances to that tomb over there, because like they think they came first and the other side thinks they came first. So there is no way of turning back the clock to really get a real clear-cut identifying feature on that. And I can tell you now, there is not one single Muslim, and I hear what you say, but there is not one single Muslim who will ever mention to me Jesus. Not one. And I've met quite a number of them too. And most of them are really nice people. Most of them are really nice people. But if you start talking to them about the Quran, by Jesus, do they change?
Have you noticed though, have you noticed if you talk to a Jewish person about the New Testament, they're not into it. They don't stick with it. It's not their thing. So a Jewish person only wants the Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. And then you have the New Testament, which the Christians follow, and then the Quran comes after.
Yeah, they see it differently.
No, they speak of Jesus in the Quran. I'll pull it up and send it and add it to Wispy. But what I think is really interesting is that Christians, Jews, and Muslims all have their most holy place in the same spot. And that is the connection to them being people of the book. And that's what I think is what's so fascinating, is such diverse ideas, such diverse thinking, all in the same spot, all having that connection. I think is very, very telling. I think we have a lot to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now these stinking Scientologists, for a minute, think about Xenu comes down from, another planet with a bunch of like bad people, puts them in volcanoes, blows them up with hydrogen bombs, and now there's Satan stuck to us.
Yeah.
How do you even equate that with a woman?
Have you ever heard of a woman called Ayaan Hirsi Ali?
Ayaan Hirsi Ali?
Yep.
No, but spell it or write it, because I'm very fascinated.
Okay. I think it's Ayaan, and then it's another name, Hirsi, Hirsi, Ali, Ali.
I hear you talking, and I not making any connection. I think it's because it's 3:30 in the morning, and so much.
I encourage you to go and listen to her as another point of view. She is a survivor of Islam. She managed to get out of her country that she was in, I forget which one it was, and she fled to, I think she made it into Holland.
Oh, wow.
She was female genital mutilated.
Oh, goodness.
She now lives in the US. She did come to Australia. I've met her. She is the most amazing speaker on how Islam should be reformed.
I think I know who you're talking about.
She was also a politician.
Right. Huh. Yeah. Well, send me a link if you can, and I'll look it up for sure.
Oh yeah, she's an amazing speaker, Ayaan Hirsi Ali, and I did actually get her book signed by her.
Right.
And at the time that she was speaking out, it was just becoming more acceptable for people to speak up, but it's still very dangerous for her to speak.
Yeah.
And she was at one point associated, like people have died because of her. People have been killed because of her. So that's why she had to move countries. And I think she did have an association in one way or another with Geert Wilders.
Right.
And Geert Wilders, I've seen him speak, and he's an amazing Dutch speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he has a lot to say about allowing Islam as a faith to have too much power in a country. But Ayaan Hirsi Ali, you know, seeing her speak real life, like watching her on YouTube is one thing, but like seeing her on a stage and then listening to her, like you could hear a pin drop when that woman talked.
Wow. Wow.
She really does have a lot of eloquence and style about her. Like when she speaks, it's very eloquent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll dig that one up for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, send me a link for it. Absolutely.
Mm.
I'm going to throw in my last thoughts here.
All right.
Head out.
Okay.
I heard the word ophthalmologist pop up a couple times. And I saw the word glaucoma, or I didn't see it. I heard the word glaucoma also pop up. If anybody wants to talk eye stuff with me, I should start a whole channel about eyes.
There you go.
I want to put this out there. There are countries, and Bangladesh comes to mind, a few others that are Muslim countries, Muslim majority countries, who have had women prime ministers and presidents already. And the United States has yet to do that. And to me, I'm not agreeing with religion, all things aside. The fact that those things can still happen tells me that we still have something to learn. And I really, it's you know what I mean? And that's all I'm going to put out there.
Well, we've got Muslim politicians here.
We've never had a woman president in the United States history. And so many countries have, Muslim countries, Jewish, you know, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with us here.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I hear what you're saying.
Well, I think the US has got a very big problem called Soros.
No, I think it's a very big problem called it's too big.
No, Soros is funding everything right down to, you know, district attorneys are getting elected and all that sort of thing. So I think I think there's a very big corruption issue going on.
Yeah. Yeah, blank slate said broken dumb system. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying that we're any better here either in our own way, but like, I mean, it's rather evident to us. We watch it all the time. And there's people like me and some other friends, you know, we're quite on the ball as much as we can with what goes on in the US, because what happens there affects us.
Yeah.
What I will tell you is that I believe that there is a big space on the YouTubes that is vacant, that needs discussion, that needs understanding, patience, listening to different people's ideas. And I know that this is not your normal thing, but if another channel pops up or another person wants to, you know, to glean onto that, I know there's a real big need for this, for more conversations like this. And some of these folks, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to hear about Bullhorn Betty or, you know, it's like you sort of get to a point where how many dead people, and you need like to step out of that. And I think that this has done more, to me at least, it's been more of a conversation about understanding, openness, learning, and I'm all these people who are in all these other communities that I, kind of, and I'm having conversations with you guys that have nothing to do with the normal, and I needed that, and I appreciate it. And I have a lot of respect for you because you are opening a door that's really scary with me, and you're holding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
This
gonna have
kind
to
of,
pick me off again. I love y'all, but I'm gonna take an ambient and crash.
all right, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming up and like sharing all your knowledge and your opinions.
I know some stuff out of books, but I don't know stuff in real life, and that's why oh, and the one thing is there is a person downtown in my town who is an ex-Amish, born again, super Christian, and I will see if I can go chat with him and see if
Oh,
he'll
you are so on that one. You are so on that one. You need to get him on video.
Yeah, exactly.
Bananas. He also waves around a Trump flag, so see if he'll put that on the policy. I don't mind.
Need to get him on panel. Get him on panel.
Yeah.
I still think some of that stuff. I mean, he still drives a buggy, but he's also a millionaire. So whoever was talking about the Amish stuff, that's another mess. I don't know how to get off of this thing.
Another rabbit hole.
Can you just kick me off, honey? And I appreciate all your patience, guys. And you guys did great. And I appreciate this whole experience.
Me too.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But
All
I
right,
don't
well,
know what button to push, so just kick me off, and I promise I'm not coming back.
Oh, yes, you will.
Good night.
She'll be back.
Oh my goodness. Kick her from the steer. There we go. There we
So,
go.
is this a Guinness Book of Wispy Records of being kicked off YouTube?
Like for the copyright? I think it is a record. I don't know. I'll stick with Australia news, I think, because they don't seem to do anything to me. They don't bother me. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, maybe I will call it a night myself here. There she is, honey.
I was just saying, is this the Guinness Book of Wispy Records getting kicked off videos night?
I think so. Yes, I think it is. Yes. Goddamn people. Leave me alone.
Oh, dear. Just when we're into something interesting too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It was. I'm gonna have a look at that because it'll be in my history, and I'll have a look at it just on my own, and maybe like make a video out of it. I'm not sure if it works that way, right? Like I could make something out of it and transform it, and then maybe I wouldn't get copyright. So
yeah, maybe you could cut it up or something.
yeah, definitely. I'll have a look at it and see what I can do with it, so we can show it one day because it was really interesting. Damn.
Oh yeah, no, that first one that got kicked out, that is, it is so informative on so many different levels,
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. So
and when I watched it, I just went, nah, this has got to be put through to you,
Yeah, definitely. I will absolutely have a look at that. So yes. All right. Well, I am gonna probably call it a night. It's what time is it? It's like 1:45 here. So I will call it a night so I can have a bowl of cereal or something and then go snuggle into bed.
You don't want to eat too many things with the teeth just out too.
I know, right? That's why I'm thinking like cereal because I can like let it sit for a minute and it'll get soft, kind of. So I haven't eaten too much today and I'm really hungry. So I gotta eat
no
something.
straws either.
Yeah, exactly. No straws. Yeah, sucking is really not a very good thing to do. So like straws or cigarettes or, smoking and stuff which I do smoke. So I have been smoking, of course, but it's been good. Actually, the pain has gone down tremendously compared to what it was this morning, of course. It's still sore, when I talk a little bit, it's still sore. I can still feel the pain of it, but it is so much better than it was this morning. So thank God for that. My goodness, thank God for that.
Well, I'll send through that stuff that I've got on the Widow of Walcott.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Basically, I've just got to park it into an email.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not really a lot of stuff. I mean, you may even find something further that I haven't got, because I tried to dig up the best snip on video. I did actually find a real estate video on the property, which is really good.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, so it's all done by drone. So the property that the woman would have ended up getting was worth $3.4 million.
Holy.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh? It's a chunk of change.
Yeah, it's a nice region. It does get quite cold in that district in wintertime. It's known for picking up. There's certain areas of this area that, higher up, that do get snow, and they get grazy alerts. So if it's going to be really, really cold, they tell farmers to put their their grazier alert for their sheep and things like that.
Yeah.
And it has been known to get snow dusted rather than, we don't get heavy falls of snow, but further up in a place called Armidale and Glen Innes, which is higher up,
right.
It can get a little bit of snow up there. Yeah, but none of that this year, that's for sure. But yeah, Walker it's only got 2,500 people.
Oh wow, that's small.
So when someone suspiciously dies in a town that size,
yeah,
everybody knows everybody.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, sounds interesting. Send it to me.
Yeah. So that one I'll just send across, and now I'll dig up some stuff on Ian Hirsi for you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
When I met her to get the book signed, because obviously there's a line, you get to go and get your book signed, and I said to her, I've got to thank you for being, so brave and courageous in telling your story. And she was writing at the time, and she stopped and then looked up at me as if no one's really said it to her properly before.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Wow, what an experience. Crazy.
Yeah, I won't forget. I haven't obviously forgotten that moment, so,
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, interesting. Yeah, well, I look forward to the emails, so send me what you girl.
All right, once I get this other room sorted and a little bit more time, I've got to put some time into that Graham Adams case and make it a bit more logical. So I did find some other documents on it the other day too, so that was helpful. Yeah,
nice, awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be a comprehensive package, and then we've got to wade through how the paperwork works, because it's quite different to the US.
Yes.
How their system works. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. All right, that's so interesting. Yeah. Awesome.
Super fun.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Everybody's saying good night. Stargazer, Blank Slate, KCG, a cheese. I don't know if you're still cheese. Hope, sweetheart. Thank you for hanging out. Everybody that was in the bushes, thank you so much for hanging out. Sav, thank you so much for coming up. Oh, you're always welcome, honey. I always love having you up here.
Thank you. Love being here.
Yes. And KTG,
And
thank you for the good conversation between you two guys, too, also. That was
anyone
really.
in BC, please look after yourselves with the
Yeah.
fires. And
Yes, absolutely.
oh, don't forget Nanya's thingy.
Nanya's.
She's having it on Sunday night now. I heard her
Oh,
on Queen
okay.
Bee's channel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, good. Okay, that fundraiser thing.
Yeah, for nonsense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I will definitely try to be there for that. Weekends, I'm not on as much on the weekends because my husband is home and he doesn't really like it too much.
Yeah. Well, she
trying to
was
stay
going to do it. She was going to do it tomorrow night, but then Boston said that it's a tight squeeze for him.
Yeah, because he does on Saturday nights he does commentary for MMA fights.
So she's making it Sunday night to accommodate him. Yeah.
Awesome. Good. Awesome. Cool. Yeah,
Mm.
I will make a post tomorrow. If Nanya made one, I'll share her post so she knows about it.
Queen Bee also raised some money and gave it directly to her today through her channel.
Awesome. Yay. That's awesome. I'll definitely try to do something over here too if we can, definitely. Yeah, there seemed to be quite the pickle nonsense in her family, so my goodness. If everything could happen all at once, then it happened to her, that's for sure. So yes. So it'll be nice to do that.
Trying to put together, it really speaks a lot better community atmosphere than what we've been seeing currently from a number of different entities out there. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's
how it's done.
Yep, show them how it's done, people. That's the right thing to do.
Exactly. All right, you guys. I will see you around the streets tomorrow. I probably won't do a live tomorrow or Sunday, but I'll be back on Monday for sure to do something. We'll figure out something. There's always something to talk about around here. So yeah, definitely. I guess I could wait just for a second here. I'll bring up a fire for a minute. Oh, I type faster than my computer can go. Oh, here we go. Alrighty, this one is always a good one. Oops. So, do you have any plans for the weekend?
Painting.
Yeah, I was going to say just working on your house.
Oh, I can't tell you how nice this laundry looks.
Oh, awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you.
I can't do pictures yet because there's doors that haven't been put back on and things like that. So it's not quite ready to show and tell, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
You know, there's some door trim that has to go on and some cupboard doors that have to go on and a door that has to go on and stuff. So there's some minor things, but it now has a laundry bench that it never had, for an example. And the cupboards that I built fit perfect. Woohoo! I can measure. I can measure and build flat packs.
Awesome, badass girl.
Yeah, I've got a few people saying that to me, and you kind of don't realise what you've done until you say something to someone else. They go, "Oh my God, you've done all that!" And you go, "Okay, on ya."
Exactly right. And then you're like, "I'm right. I did all that."
Yeah. So I've just got to I've got to tape up this last room. It is actually the biggest room. It's 4x3, which by most other terms in the US and that they're not big rooms, but I can put a queen bed in them easy.
Nice. Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So yeah, once I get this one painted, because I just had some things that I had to fill and get out the caulking gun and caulk it and stuff. But I think I should be putting an undercoat down either tonight. I'll get an undercoat done, and also I'll probably do 2 layers tomorrow, and then that just means I've got a ceiling to paint. And then hopefully, all going well, I'll have the trim done on the wardrobes minimum, and then I can get the builder to put the doors back on Monday. But it's going to be a tight squeeze. But fortunately, we've got in the middle of winter, we've got 20-something degree weather, so things dry quite well at the moment.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So, well, it's all coming together, and it'll be done before you know it. You'll be sitting in your house when it's all done and all the furniture's back in, and it'll be awesome.
Oh God, I've got all this building stuff to clean up. It looks like a builder's kitchen. There's hardly any kitchen bench because it's like stuff all over the place.
Stuff, everywhere.
Screwdrivers.
Yes. Oh my goodness, too funny. Alrighty, lady. I will see you around the streets tomorrow for sure. I'll be around. I'll be up in some chats or something somewhere. Cheese, you be good. You behave yourself. I saw your plans for the weekend. Make sure you behave yourself. Don't get yourself into trouble now. Oh my goodness. I love all you guys. Oh, all my regulars. You guys always come in and hang out with me, and I appreciate it so much. So I will say goodnight for now. Sav. Yeah, did the old dropout thingy. Thank you so much for having me, or for coming up, Sav. I appreciate it. That is so awesome. I always enjoy talking to you. And thank you for the conversation that you had tonight with KB. Not KBC, not KCG, not KB. KCG. That was awesome. Good night, K-Mash. Yes, awesome, Sav. I'm glad that you always have fun. That's great. That's great. All right, you guys. Yeah, it was a good live. I really like this one. Actually, it was good. We talked about a lot, and that's what these forums should be used for, right? Forums, platforms, So yeah. Alrighty, everybody. Be careful on these streets. Watch the alleys. Never walk alone. And carry some rocks with you so you can throw them at people that are, so they're, people, you just throw rocks at them, the ones you don't like. So, yeah, that's my advice. Just throw rocks at them. Oh my goodness. Geez, you'll get there. Pretty soon you'll be a regular up here on panel. We'll make you a regular. Yeah, Sam, you mean like you just have to keep climbing back on. Too funny. Oh, you guys. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, right? Yeah, we need to get him. He'll be a regular pretty soon. He'll be hanging out with us all the time. All right, you guys. I love you so much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Be good. Have a good sleep and sweet dreams. All right.